Hello and welcome to uh, week 10, your final week of PA212. This week we are taking a final exam, but we also have a couple of required readings in your chapter before we review for your exam. So I wanted to do that quickly so that you know what to expect on the final exam, so we get to that review, but then also go through that chapter 19 and chapter 20. Again, we are in Pharmacy Technician Certification Exam Review, and it starts on page 159. Cost and markup is what we're talking about. So commercial calculations, the cost price of a drug, the markup of a drug, the selling price. What does a pharmacy require for them to make money? So some of the things that I didn't quite realize went into processing a medication at a pharmacy for the cost of them includes the label that we stick on the bottle that we put the pills in, the auxiliary labels that we warn the patients with, the bags that we put it in, the receipt we give them, the cost that it takes to file insurance to the insurance company. Those are pennies, but those add up. And then again, paying you, the pharmacy technician, to fill it and paying the pharmacist to check it. So all of that goes into the markup of a drug and the percentage of the cost price of the drug. And so it'll go and walk you through some of those problems and talk about that dispensing fee, which I actually just talked about, what goes into that dispensing fee, just some of those different things I just told you. And then that is not very long chapter, a couple pages with a couple of review questions. Again, you don't have an assignment this week, so you don't have to do that. But then chapter 20 goes over a math test with solutions. So make sure that you go in and work these before you take your final exam. This is from all the first 20 chapters. You can go and solve some of the ones that you have already basically solved. They're review, and there are 60 questions of them. And that should help you to be ready for the final exam. Some other subjects that I want you to be ready for as well. Let me just pull it up here. There are some calculations, but not only calculations on this final exam. There are talk about controlled substance prescriptions, what should be on that prescription. We talked about compounding and the double scale, so make sure that you review that. Insurance reconciliations, what happens when we do that, so make sure that you review that. Label requirements on drug bottles. Do you need strength? Do you need dosage? That kind of stuff. Dispense as written. Go back and read what that means, dispense as written. Stability of drugs, markup of drugs, which is in chapter 19. You'll also need to know Roman numerals and how to read Roman numerals, so make sure that you know that. There will be some SIGs, or what I like to call a SIG, because that is what is on a prescription, how a doctor would write it in shorthand, basically. So make sure that you know how to read those pretty accurately so that when you do read them, they don't throw you off, because that's not actually the question. It's part of the calculation. So make sure that you can do that. Again, how I would take or how I would go after this final exam is to review chapter 20, go back through your chapters and review some of the subjects that I just gave you, and then try to take the 50 question exam without any notes. See if you can do it. You do have 4 hours to take it, so if you have to go back and use your notes, not a problem. But this will help you get ready for that certification exam that we're trying to get you to take. And then each question is 4.8 points apiece. So that means that you will have a final score, and make sure that it's the highest we can by not using our book, and then go ahead and use your book to help you answer those questions. Just a couple housekeeping things. If you have not turned in an assignment or you have not turned in a quiz from past weeks, so basically you have a 0 in my grade book for an assignment or a quiz, you can make those up and give them to me before Thursday at midnight. I can't give you any more leniency on that. I have to have grades in by noon on Friday. So make sure that you get those to me. Any past assignments, fair game, so you can go ahead and turn those into me, and we'll get your grade raised at that time. Sometimes things come up, I understand it, so I just want you to be able to work through those problems. It will not only get you to review for your final exam, but then we'll get you the best grade on your final exam as well. And then remember that that final exam is due by Thursday at midnight. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'd love to answer them. Email me, text me anytime. And I hope you have a great week, and I've had a great class. So I will see you next class.